Hello. I thought I'd start this off a little bit differently than usually and show a full screen view of me for no reason, and you can see my wires and my rusty radiator in the background. So yeah, today I thought, since we've already streamed music and pixel art, I'd sort of complete the triangle and do some programming today for Office Management 101, of course. So that's the plan. So to sort of fit the image of a programmer, today I'm wearing a hoodie. I don't know, maybe I should put the hood up as well. Also beneath, I'm sure no one watching has played this, but once upon a time I made this game jam game with some friends that was called Lake Serene, and we made this t-shirt for it as well. Somehow the video seems to hang up at some points, but hopefully it's not a big deal. I don't know why. The internet speed is okay. Oh, hi bud. How you doing? How was Thanksgiving? For me, we don't have Thanksgiving in Estonia, but I did visit some friends this weekend, and on Sunday yesterday I went to see my parents, and my sister came there as well, and we ate sort of a, I don't know what's the word in English, Advent we say in Estonian, but the first December weekend, since it's the Christmas month. So yeah, we ate some food together, and then I came back home. And I'm glad to hear it was good. Yeah, it was good for me as well. And did you buy anything on the Black Friday? I only bought the Farming Simulator game last week. Farming Simulator 19. And I originally figured that I would stream the gameplay of it, but when I brought the idea up on Discord, it got shut down pretty fast, as in it's not the most interesting game to watch. So then I thought, okay, maybe then I won't stream it, but yesterday when I played it again, I figured, like, when I'm playing it anyway, then why not stream it? Maybe it will bring in some new viewers who are not interested in watching me draw or code or make music or whatever, right? And maybe it will bring in some people who are interested in watching me play games instead. And if not, you know, if no one wants to see it, then maybe it'll be a one-time thing. But I'll do that maybe on Thursday then. And it would begin maybe around the same time as the stream did. But we'll see. I do want to play some other games as well in the future, definitely. I know I've been talking about it for a while now, but yeah, want to mix up the streams a bit. Not to make it only about Office Management 101. So, enough of my ugly face, and we'll bring up the coding stuff then. Oh, wait. Let me check if everything is operational. Yeah, sorry about this. Just checking over some things. And making sure. How's the sound, by the way? Last time the music was too loud. I can bring it down a bit more. And if that works, then what else? I guess we can start then. I'll launch the game for a moment, and I showed it last time, but I'll show it again just in case. What the problem exactly is. And what I'm going to be working on today. Yeah. So, oh yeah, this is the building that I messed up last time. I removed these pillars here. Like this building has these pillars, and these lights as well on all sides. But I removed them to show the wall tiles last time, which were the new ones, but I replaced them with the old ones again. Now it's a weird building, but it doesn't matter. For what we're doing, it doesn't matter. And then yeah, so the problem that I'm going to be working on today is that after I made some changes to the code, somehow the employees are not moving anymore. They just stand in one place. So I assume that it's a problem in the pathfinding. Most likely. But we'll see. So I look at some of the code and see where it could be then. Most likely the problem, I don't know if you can actually see the text. Should I zoom it in? Let me know that if that's the case. But yeah, I have this class for the map, which is called map.class. The file, no, the map.java. Yeah. So I assume the problem is here somewhere, because this is one of the files that I changed a lot. But to trace the problem better, I have to... We can see it. Okay, thanks APL. Thank you very much for letting me know. So yeah, we can trace the problem by starting with the pathfinding, if I can find it. Can't find the pathfinding. Need the pathfinder to the pathfinder. So okay, I have like a bunch of files for that. Plus it uses the libjet GDX engine implementation for pathfinding as well. So it's like got a lot of moving parts interconnected. But let's start somewhere and see. The last time I worked on this part was years ago, so it will take some time to remember what's what. I think this might be the main board. No, not this. Here, no, this does nothing. You know, there's like some part where the algorithm goes through all the map tiles. That's what I'm looking for. It's not this. Actually, I think I once upon a time made a tutorial about the pathfinding. I have changed it a lot since then, but if anyone is interested in that, I can look it up. Just give me a moment. So. Gameplay features. Not seeing it right now. Save game. Actually, maybe I didn't then. I did make a tutorial about save games, but okay, I guess not then. Sorry to get your hopes up. Yeah. So what is this file? Did I check this already? I did, didn't I? Yeah. This is too short. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're, yeah, this is something. Okay, so this function is tile walkable. This might be the source of the problem, actually. I almost never comment my code, by the way, which is, I know it's sloppy coding then, but as long as I personally understand it, then it's fine. Although sometimes when it's been years, it takes a while for me to remember as well, like what's going on. So, you know, I should comment, but it's a chore. I don't like it. Sometimes I do when it's like something extremely weird or something, but I don't know. So this part should be fine. Then it checks if the furniture is blocking the path. Not sure what would be the best way to debug this. Actually, once upon a time, I actually had a way to visualize the paths. So maybe we can start there. Path. Should check here later as well, but okay, I think this might be the part that visualizes it. Not sure if it still works. Because this I also used years ago. I don't know. If I launch the game, what happens then? Will it show something? It's not showing anything right now. Oh, okay, here's something. Character. I don't know, will it show me now? Of course, maybe it just can't show anything because it doesn't even have a path. It should show something. If there is a path, then it should show something here. Another thing I do sometimes, I just output the stuff to the console log. So it will appear down here. Which makes it possible to trace the problem then. Okay, so what happened was, it's here. It says null, which means there was no path. Which is probably to be expected under the circumstances. But yeah, I wanted to check this. This is the function that generates a path for a character. And if the character is moving, it does this. If it's not moving, which it would be not in this case, then it should go there. And should probably try to put some debug here as well. So just log debug and then generating path to, then I can copy paste these coordinates from here, which would be from and to. And background pathfinder enabled. Here. Now let's see what happens. Launching the game. Should maybe unpause it. It's okay. At least it tried to do something twice. And then it failed. I suppose. Search no path. Yeah, I should also output the log for the path here. Log debug path. Generated path. So yeah, this is how my programming usually works when I'm looking for causes for bugs. I just put lots of debug messages in the code and see what happens. Okay, so it did seem to generate something. I guess I could also enable this. Let's see what happens then. I might have an idea where the problem is actually. And if that's the case, then it's kind of stupid. Okay, it's something else then. It's not what I thought it. So, it generated the path from the coordinates x 24 and 37 to 23, 24, which I think is the chair. And it says it's 0 steps, which is definitely not correct. So then I think my theory wasn't correct after all. So have to put debug here as well. Log debug. Blocked by furniture. So if you get to this part of the code, the path is blocked by furniture. And also I'll put the coordinates here so I'll know how to check if that's correct or not. Then it checks if there's a room in that specific spot. And yes, if it gets here, then room at, and the room in this context could be either the bathroom or the kitchen or the overall the hallway. then I should put the room ID here as well. Room ID is room ID. And put the room object itself here as well. And then the floor sprite. And floor is walkable here. Then it checks if there's a building in this spot, which would be, well, a building story. The way the game is done now is each building defines its levels or stories as well. So those are building stories. Building story. And then it checks the default floors for those. And is workable. And then it checks the default floor, in case there isn't a building, it checks the map floor or the ground tile in that spot, which would be here. And then is walkable here. So that's a bunch of stuff then. And continue. And I'm already seeing a lot of debug. So let me close it. So it is finding walkable tiles. From here. Okay, at least the problem isn't then that it's saying that everything is not walkable. So what next? I didn't get that much useful information from this. So the next step would be to try and put the debug log in some other places. So here maybe? Tiny smoke at X Y and Z isn't important on this map because there's only one story or floor. Sorry, I missed your question earlier, but what I'm doing is trying to figure out what's going on with the Pathfinder. Why is it not working after I changed the map system? Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Yeah, explaining programming is quite a bit more difficult than explaining what I was doing with art or music, I guess. So yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, APL if you mean like step by step through the code, that I think, yeah, that would be too long of a chain of all kinds of stuff, probably, because some of the code is in Java here, but some of the code is in Lua scripts, which is another programming language, and I've done it so because the Lua scripts can be overridden by mods and other kinds of extensions. So that's why it's possible to, in the future at least, it would be possible to make mods that do all kinds of changes to the game. That way it's not hard coded, if that makes sense. Right. So yeah, step by step going through the code would take a lot of time. Not that this is what I'm doing is quick, but you know. But yeah, should add this here. And yeah, this method of debugging isn't very efficient either. But somehow this is what I've usually resorted to in this game. It's kind of like it doesn't even reach this part of the code though. And why would that be? It would be interesting to know how much coding do the viewers here understand in the first place. Are any of you programmers, or at least on some level as well, or is this all just gibberish to you? Just for the context. Oh wait. Oh, okay. So we did reach this part of the code after all. So it is finding also in the Pathfinder that the tiles are walkable. So why is it not working? I'm not sure where it breaks then. There's another element to the pathfinding, and that is the fact that it caches the paths, so it doesn't have to look them up every time again, which is something I did to make it faster. So maybe the problem is there somewhere instead, but just a moment, I am gonna take a sip of water. I spilled some on the chair. It's all wet now. Everything is a challenge when streaming. Well, yeah, it looks like it's not too bad. Besides, it's just water. What's going on in the chat? Oh yeah, something I wanted to share. If I find the link real quick. Let's see. It's not here. How about here? Okay, here, found it. I'll throw the link in the chat. They never walk outside. They do walk outside, actually. The employees do walk outside when they go home and when they come to the office. Or there's another map where they walk between the buildings. So they do walk outside as well. Anyway, this link that I just posted, it's another Estonian game developer made a Steam curator page for Estonian games. You can find Office Management 101 there as well, but other games that have been made in Estonia are there too, and some of the ones that are upcoming. So have a look at that. And the link is in the Discord, no, the Twitch chat. Maybe I should throw it in the YouTube chat as well. How does that work in the first place? Because I am streaming to YouTube at the same time as well, but I don't even know where to bring up the chat for that. In theory it should at least appear on the screen here, but is it here? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Found it. And if you missed this stream for some reason, you can watch it later on YouTube as well. I'll post the link on Discord, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, where was I with the stuff? So yeah, they do walk outside, so that shouldn't be the case here. Of course, we could experiment with something. Let's take the other map. Let's take the other map. And this was one that Gustavo here in the I think you're watching as well right now. You sent me this file when there was a bug with the employees back then. So what happens if I move an employee outside here? Oh, I can't. By the door. Yeah, I thought I'd experiment if they'd maybe move between the buildings, but it seems the problem is the same. I mean, the thing that it says that there's 0 steps is an indicator of something weird going on. Because how come it generates a path that has 0 steps in it? That shouldn't even be like, shouldn't be possible. So. Generated path to. This is the part that I want. Nodes. Size. So maybe I should debug here. Wait, Wait, I can't edit this file because this is a libgdx file, not my own file. Wait, which was it? Default graph path. Okay. I can't debug that one then. Oh, yeah, sorry. I missed that I had the game still open. Because the way I'm recording this to the OBS stream is I'm recording the windows, not the full desktop screen. So if the game is open, then it doesn't show this code part. So I have to keep that in mind. Yeah. But nodes here. I mean, like a good way to debug this actually would be to visualize all the tiles with some information, I guess. I don't know how long that would take to set up, because I don't think I have like a template for something like that. Because one interesting visualizer that I made was for the AI. Let's see if I can bring that up. I don't remember where that was. Was it here somewhere? AI debug, yeah. Like this shows the graph of what steps the AI is going through. Can I make it bigger? Yeah, I can. Now again, this probably doesn't make much sense the way it is right now, but when I open up these steps, then oh yeah, this made me think of something right now actually. I've been checking the problem for the Pathfinder, but even if the Pathfinder wasn't working, the employees should still move like step by step when idling. which this Ursula Fiorito here is doing. So the steps would go down here, and then there's move random step. But for some reason, this one isn't working either. This move random step, because this is not tied to the Pathfinder, which means that probably the Pathfinder itself is fine. So I'm just undoing everything, and let's check this move random step. Now we'll go to the mentioned Lua part of the code. Yeah, most of the AI stuff is modifiable by mods. So if in the future someone wants to make a mod that changes the way the employees behave somehow, should all be moddable. But where is move random step here? So I've tried to comment some of these Lua parts at least, keeping in mind that other people will see these lines of code in the future, hopefully. So here's a function, is tile idle workable? And that's an interesting one. That's something that I should check and debug here. In this case, the furniture would block it. Which probably isn't happening, but let's add it in case anyway. Coordinate X and coordinate Y. And need another step here. Is tile walkable? And here. So, wait, actually, it would be easier to try with the other map. Actually, let's start a new game. Let's start fresh. It says it is walkable, but it's not moving. So the problem could be with the moving itself. And yeah, that's starting to make sense to me now. It definitely is. This wood is getting hot, kind of. I mean, my ears were getting hot. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your hoodies. So let's find the place where the character moves. It was here somewhere. Move. He's moving. Okay, here's the movement part. I think I should start with this. So here I'm checking if the direction is movable. And direction is just some number. Going to be a bit annoying though, but let's put the debug everywhere. Direction is not allowed. And let's put the coordinates here as well. X, then Y. And story num is the Z coordinate basically. The story number. Here direction is walkable. South. And is not walkable south. Now the same for all the directions. There's 4 in total. So this is west, east, north. Copy these as well. Here. Oh yeah, there's 2 more directions. You can go up and down the elevator, but that's not important right now. Let's see, north here, east here, west here. And is not walkable west. Is not walkable east. And is not walkable north. So the problem might be there somewhere. for some reason it says it's not walkable anywhere. No wait, tile walkable. This is some other debug that I added earlier, but so does break here. Oh, okay. Okay. Now I'm Oh, yeah, I think I figured it out. So there's two functions that check for if the tile is walkable. So one is just XYZ, which is this one, but the other one is XYZ and then the direction, because some tiles you can walk onto from some direction and not from another direction. So say tile is a square, right? And if one edge of the square is a wall, for example, you can walk to the tile from like three directions, but not from the direction where the wall is, right? So the function that is broken is this one. And let's see, if there is no building, then yeah, this should be true, I think. Because if there is no building and you're walking outside, for example, then you should be able to walk to it just fine. Oh, wait. I misunderstood what's going on here. Okay, so it's first... okay, yeah, it checks if there's a building in the tile where the character is. So basically it means if the character is inside the building. So it checks for that. And then it checks for the new place. And if that's not the same building, then it doesn't work. That's basically what this means, right? And then it checks if the rooms are different. So maybe it's enough if I change this line here. Let me read the code for a moment. This is my thinking phase. And my thinking noises as well. Those are very important. Well, this reminds me of something. I read about some research or something that someone at least concluded in some context is that because Estonians don't smile a lot and I don't know, don't make angry faces a lot either, I guess, or let's say our faces are emotionless, then it's supposedly hard for foreigners to understand what our face is saying or like what emotion we are displaying at the moment. So is that the case with me as well? Is it hard to see when I'm serious and when I'm smiling or making jokes? I do wonder. I could make the troll face. Let's see, how does it go? Like this? This? Yeah. Anyway, I was supposed to actually read this code. Yeah, it might actually work now. Fingers crossed. Aha, here we go, here we go. We have solved it, and it only took like an hour and 8 minutes. But we have solved it. It was this one line here that was the problem all along. But now I have to remove all this debug that I added everywhere. And this is fine. This is fine then. This as well. Did I add debug here? Yeah, I did. I think I know where this bug came from as well. I think I copy pasted the stuff from here. But I forgot to change this line. But yeah, sometimes big problems come from small things. So to explain it, so this function here, where I copied the faulty code, checks if the tile viewed from a certain angle has a wall on it. That's one of the things that I changed with the new system. So let me bring up the game. I can show it there. So say this tile here, for example. So if we say that the side that goes like up left here is north, right? Then the side that goes up left here. Wait, did I say up right? is north, up left is west. So the west side of the tile has a wall on it, and the other sides don't. So this function is tile a wall takes in the coordinates x, y, z, and then the direction east, west, north, south, and then it checks if there's a wall on that angle. And it goes through if there's first of all if there is an elevator, then there is no wall there or floor or whatever, but let's ignore these. Then it gets the ID of the room on that tile, so say like a bathroom or kitchen or office or whatever. It gets the numerical identification for that room. Then it gets the ID of the building in that tile. So that would be the whole office building. And then it checks if the tile next to it has a building, and the tile where the check originated from does not have a building, then that means there's a wall between them, right? Or if there's like two different buildings next to each other, then there's also a wall between them. And same check with the rooms, and it does that for each of the walls. And then it says true if there is a wall, right? And if it goes through all the checks, and at the end, if nothing originated or nothing said that there is a wall there, then it returns false. And then I just copy pasted this whole block to check if the tile is walkable. But that is the other way around. The tile is walkable if there is no wall. So it should return true, and false. It should return true if there is no wall, and it should return false if there is a wall. As in, isTile wall function was the opposite of it. So yeah, if my explanations made any sense, great. If not, then I'm sorry. But yeah, that's that problem fixed then. Now we have about 45 minutes left of the stream. So, past weeks I've been drawing on the stream these wall tiles, wallpapers and such, right? So, what I wanted to do was something like add a menu option here where you could change the wallpaper of the room. So you can better customize your rooms. There is still one problem with that, and that is, let's take the office for example. Right now, this wallpaper color is the way you differentiate from different rooms. Like you can understand this is a toilet because of the wallpaper here. There is no kitchen room right now, and you can see that this is an office because of the wallpaper here. But if you put the bathroom wallpaper in an office, then how would you know that it's an office, right? Like visually. So how some games have solved it, like I don't know, Prison Architect, for example, or what's the other, the Academia Simulator, or some games like that. Those, you say Office 2, this one. This one has the best wallpaper, you say. Yeah, the way those games solved that problem was to write the room's name somewhere on it. But it's much easier when it's a 2D game. But I don't know how... Oh, you like the purple office. Okay, my bad. Oh yeah, Office 2. Right. I'll remove one of these because the only reasoning for them was to have two separate wallpapers. But when you can change the wallpaper, that doesn't matter anymore. So anyway, I could write the text for the office somewhere here, right? But that I don't know how to do that in a normal way. Like, let's make an example with this. First of all, if some text hovered here, let's imagine there is no speech bubble, just the text. Then it would block the view. And I can't easily like put it on an angle either when it's isometric, because then the text would not be readable. So I could maybe limit the choices, like say in bathroom you can only set or choose between like bathroom wallpapers, and in offices you could only choose between office wallpapers, and for the kitchen you could only choose kitchen wallpapers. So I could do it that way. But I don't know. It might be limiting creativity for the players. Or, you know, I could just ignore this problem in the first place and just say it's up to the player. Like, it's your responsibility to choose wallpapers wisely. Or I guess I could do it in a way that there still would be like an identification text, like I showed, like office. Actually, maybe you could even name those offices. Like, say, you could type a custom name for it, CEO office as a name for this one. And then there would be like a toggle button that would turn it on and off. So I don't know, but maybe the texts would overlap sometimes. But anyway, I can figure this out later. What I wanted to add was a menu option here, that would change the wallpaper then, or like make a pop-up to choose the wallpaper from. So let's see. I think that part might be hard-coded. The room menu options. What did it say? Edit room, right? Should be in the translation text somewhere. Yeah, context menu, edit room. Here it is. So adjust that. Context menu, edit wallpaper. And start edit wallpaper. Let's make it like this. Or maybe open wallpaper. Pop up. I don't know. Well, I'll have to compare some other function names and then see. We're going to need an icon for it as well, because all the menu options have an icon. So right now it shows up like this. So this is the translation identification name for it. So if I click on it now, nothing happens because I haven't made anything yet, right? But I'll add the translation string here. And so this file contains the English translation of everything. So if I put edit wallpaper here. Yeah, I have to make a tutorial for how to make the translation files or translation mods. Oh, and just the paintbrush icon. Yeah, I could maybe try that. That is a good suggestion. Right now I'm using this edit room icon, but yeah, I've been promising the translation tutorial for a year at least. But the problem is that not everything is translatable right now. And it's pretty random, like what is and what isn't. Like, I don't know, like some menu text is translatable and some randomly isn't, where I've been lazy. And I have like a to-do list of the files where I need to make it translatable, but I haven't gotten around to it, so keep reminding me and I'll take care of it eventually. And then yeah, it would be nice because a lot of people have been asking for translations for the demo already. Like and some, like a bunch of people have been offering to make translations. So it's all waiting behind me. I think there's been like people who want to, Well, APL wants to translate to Swedish, I think. Some guy just a few days ago wanted to translate to French, then Spanish, I think, has been offered, Brazilian, Spanish, or Portuguese, which is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, Turkish, I think, even, and German, so all kinds of languages. Russian as well, I think. So yeah, maybe once I've taken care of all this Swahili, that would be interesting, I guess. But no, I don't think anyone has offered that yet. I could make an Estonian translation myself, but I don't know if anyone actually wants to play it in Estonian. Because most Estonians prefer to play games in English, not in Estonian. Because some of the Estonian words that are used in games are very odd or uncommon. Another problem with translations is the width of the text. Let me show some examples. Especially in some languages where the words are longer than in English. I don't know, here it shouldn't be a problem. Maybe like middle-sized wooden table would be too long to fit here for I don't know, in German, for example, because they have long words and long sentences for stuff. Another problem that I can see is that some languages have gender for objects. Estonian doesn't, English doesn't, but German and Russian do, I think. Russian definitely, I'm not sure, but German. So that might change some things. Also, like these description texts down here that describe the biography of the employees. Those might be hard to translate. I tried to write them in a way that there's no gender here when it puts them together from different pieces, but I don't know if it's possible in some languages. So maybe a solution would be to not like combine the texts, but have like certain presets of full sentences, or maybe full biography. Yeah, that should be the correct translation. And also, of course, the newspapers, those are going to be somewhat harder to translate as well. And maybe some images that have texts on them too. So, you know, there are going to be challenges, but we'll see. Anyway, I won't draw the wallpaper changing icon right now because that would make this stream not about programming but drawing instead. We can do that next time maybe. So usually I use this sort of function name, I guess. Open analytics pop-up. So where was this? Wallpaper. Open wallpaper pop-up, yeah. I don't know what would be like a good thing to copy for it. There isn't a pop-up for rooms here. Is there? System AI, open mail, open messages, upgrading, calendar, newspaper. Hey, don't level up. Skip, chair, assign. Yeah, there's no pop-up for rooms. Okay. I'll just copy this then. Open wallpaper pop-up. Room. What is this even? I'm not sure. But everything seems to have it, so. I'm not sure. Wait, I'm changing the wrong thing right now. This one. These are all fine. This doesn't matter. All paper pop-up. I'll have to make a new file for that. Don't need these for now. But yeah, I'll definitely not finish it this time. I can say that already, that this is going to take me longer than half an hour, but we'll see how far we'll get. Let's see where the pop-ups are. Should be under user interface, yeah. So furniture pop-up, I think, has some stuff that I can reuse. Wait, there's a problem here. Let me show for a moment what I mean. The furniture pop-up where the rooms are. I can use these, I think. Oh yeah, and in addition to wallpaper changing, I also want to add the floor changing as well. The carpets and the tiles and whatnot. But anyway, I can reuse this icon here, I think, or at least partially. The wallpaper without the floor part of it, I suppose. Anyway, here the file is. Where is the furniture? It's not here. Where is it then? Menu. Oh yeah, okay. It's under menu. Here's the furniture as well. So let's call this wallpaper pop-up. One thing though, I think the design should be more like some of these others. Let's see, something like I don't know, this one. This is a debug feature that lets me see what the character is carrying. So CEO has a broom in his backpack, sort of. I can add paperwork to it. So this was something just I did to debug the things they're carrying. So maybe the design for it should be like this instead of this, because it doesn't have tabs, right? It would have just furniture. Another one that uses this design is like this one, for example. So maybe instead I should delete this wallpaper one that I created. Delete it and make a copy of backpack instead. Yeah. Now let's see. Here should be room. And room. This isn't necessary. And this should be room. I'm not gonna explain all this because that would take me at least half an hour or maybe more. But let's just go through this and see what happens. Wallpaper array here. There's a global function, wallpaper loader. Get instance get. There's no function to get all the wallpapers. Let's make it then. Public array wallpaper get all. Should yeah. So now I'm gonna need to create a new array, wallpapers, initialize it like this, and then The red line means that I haven't loaded it in yet. Then return wallpapers. And then since the wallpapers are stored in some other format right now, I'll have to iterate through all of them. Keys. Now here I'm loading the wallpapers one by one, just to check if there's no error here, and then add it to the array. So now I have a function that returns all wallpapers. And then I don't think there's a thumbnail function for the wallpaper yet though. Should add that as well. This part isn't important. No add paperwork. And okay, so it should at least generate something. Wait, what happened? There's a bug somewhere. Oh yeah. This isn't necessary anymore. Let's check here. And yeah, should show something already. Actually, it's going faster than I thought, so yeah. So this should be all the wallpapers now. But you can't see them yet. But that's fine. Because I need to generate an icon for them. But yeah, this is going faster than I thought it would, so maybe I can extend the stream a little bit and then maybe I can finish it up. We'll see. Been so concentrated on this stuff, I haven't checked the chat at all. But yeah, seems there's been no post, so it's fine. Okay. So one thing, I need to generate an icon for it, and then should maybe make a hover of some kind. There was a hover or like a tooltip for the backpack that I deleted, but I should just add it back then. This is a custom function that I made. Just makes it easy for me to create hover texts. So wallpaper. It doesn't have a name yet, but it should have an ID. Let's see if it works. Edit. Yeah, so it has like an identification of some kind. Like orange paint, pink, green tiling, red brick, gray hallway, beige hallway, purple office, blue office, and so on. So I guess the way it should work, there's two options, right? So either I click on it, then it changes immediately, or you click on it, then it makes a selection here, and then you click OK. But I guess the less clicks, the better, because you can't really see the office behind this dialogue anyway, so should make it the height smaller, but I'll deal with that later. But yeah, should probably just make it clickable. That should be fine then. So that should work like this here then. Click, and it should close right now, just to test it out. I need to drink some water. Yup. Yep, seems to work. So now it closes. But what I want to do is change the room. Set wallpaper. And it should be like this. And I think I need to regenerate the cache maybe for some things, but let's test it first. Just in case. What is the blue office, black brick, brown office? Let's try this one. Yeah, I need to generate the cache as well, and let's see, where is that? Should have some example for it. Edit room should be there, I guess, somewhere. Edit room, yeah, maybe here somewhere. This, I guess. Here. Yeah, probably. And let's put this where in here. Should check something as well if room is not 0 or is not null. So it doesn't crash when there's a problem. This map screen. Wait, actually there should be. Oh yeah, should be like this. Get renderer, yeah, and room get story number. Okay. Well, if this works, then that's great. Yeah, we all need to generate cache. And what do you know, it works. Should put some lights here. Buy another. White brick. Yeah, seems to be working. Well, ain't that awesome? Now for this works for the rooms right now. I have to make a separate one for the hallway because it's defined. It's not really a room, but it's just inside the building. So here I have to change the wallpaper for the building itself, not the room. But yeah, that I'll do off stream. But now we just need the thumbnails for the wallpaper then. And those I can copy paste at least partially from the room thumbnails. So there will have to be a get thumbnail function in wallpaper. Where's the room? Where's the room? Get thumbnail. Is there something? Yep. So I can paste these here. And what else do I need? These as well. And what else? These. And I can remove the floors because wallpapers do not need them. Here. IT as well here. And is there a disposer here? Nope. Dispose functions make sure that the memory is released for the graphics when the game closes. Because if I don't do this, then the memory that was allocated to the wallpaper stuff, it would not be cleaned up afterwards. So it would just take memory even after the game closes. And we can't have that happening. Because that would be a bug. What else? Is there a map set here somewhere? Nope. I have to call this function from somewhere, but I'm not sure where. I guess from here? No, from here somewhere. I also have to call this dispose method. Wallpaper loader. Yup. The disposer here. Dispose to static. And what else do I need for the texture? Yeah. Somewhere where the map is loaded. Wonder where the room icons are generated. Actually, Load texture. References workspace. Into rooms loader. And this happens where? Load sprite sheets. Okay, then I think the wallpaper should be loaded here as well. Wallpaper loader, load textures, this. Then I can just copy paste this. So here. Except I'll replace room base with wallpaper. Wait, I'll have to do it this way. Load texture map. And that should be it in theory. Unless there's an error somewhere. Okay, this has to be static. But yeah, let's see. Should work now. Edit wallpaper, and here we go. Yeah, maybe I should just lower it a bit, because we don't have to see the floorboards. Right. So where was it? Load texture. Oh, it's probably here and here. So 24, this should be the Y coordinate. But I don't know if I should make it smaller or bigger. Because for libgdx some of the stuff is drawn from bottom left and some of the stuff is drawn from bottom, wait, top left and bottom left. That's what I meant to say. So it's like flipped sometimes, but yeah, the coordinate was right. So I guess I'll leave it like this, right? Or maybe like 1 pixel higher, maybe. Let's see, 21 then, 21. Why there's 2 of them? It's because there's 2 angles for the wallpaper, right? Like this side and this other side. But yeah, I think this is it for now then. And it actually works. I think there should be some sound effect as well. Could that. But like a click sound effect would be enough, I think. copy it somewhere? I don't know, there should be. Oh yeah, button click. This should work. I'll put that here as well. And eventually I want to make some effects for it somehow. Not sound effects, but visual effects somehow. So maybe it would sort of like gradually change the wallpaper, or maybe fade from one wallpaper to the other. I don't know. Or like go tile by tile, or I'll have to experiment with that, but other than that, it seems to work. So I'll make the window a little bit smaller, so we don't have this all this empty space here. And probably have to make it the width smaller as well, because it's empty here. But other than that, it seems to be fine. So yeah, for the finish, let me put up the full view again, like I did in the beginning. So thanks all for watching. So yeah, I'll probably be back on Thursday then, around 8 Estonian time. I don't know, that's like 6 Central Europe time, I think. Or is it 7? I don't know. Anyway, I'll give you a heads up then, and then I'll stream like I discussed in the beginning of the stream. I'll probably stream Farming Simulator 19. And if you're not interested in that, then that's fine. Hopefully someone is at least. But if not, then I'll just play by myself. That's okay as well. And no, I will not do a house tour. This is all you're gonna see today. This wire here is for the sound mixer, soundboard. That's my Logitech speaker. That's my cupboard that has wires in it and tools. This here actually is not a table, but this is a cupboard that I took apart and turned sideways to make more table space for myself. And yeah, that's the room. There's other stuff over there, lots of other stuff, but I won't show all that clutter right now. But that's it then. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you some other time. Very much appreciate it that you stick around for these weird things that I do. So yeah, goodbye.